let's talk about the audacity of the other girl, because apparently she felt let down when Meghan told the truth. Imagine that. So let me make sure that I understand this correctly. So the other girl felt let down when Meghan told the truth about her during the Oprah interview. Not let down that she herself lied against Meghan. Not let down because she allowed that lie to fester and circulate for years. Not let down that her sister-in-law had been smeared with a false story while she, the guilty party, stayed silent. But she felt let down because Meghan corrected the record. Please make it make sense. Make it make sense. And for me, it's the audacity of this framing that is genuinely breathtaking. And that book, I'm not even going to mention the book or the author. The book tries to present this as if the other girl was the injured party. So let's talk about what actually happened, because I'd like to take us down memory lane. So in November 2018, shortly before Harry and Meghan's wedding, a story appeared in the British press. And the story was that Kate made the other girl cry. The story claimed that there was a dispute about flower girl dresses. There was. And that the other girl's daughter's dress didn't fit properly. It didn't. And that Meghan was demanding and difficult. How? And that the other girl was reduced to tears by Meghan's behavior. And that story spread everywhere. And it became part of the established narrative about Meghan. It was cited as evidence that she was difficult, that she didn't fit in, and that she was a bully who made the gentle future queen cry. And for years, this story circulated and it shaped public perception and it contributed to the harassment that Meghan faced daily, hourly, minute by minute. It was horrible. And it was used to justify the increasingly hostile coverage that she got in the press. Meanwhile, it was a big fat lie. Now, during the Oprah interview, Meghan revealed what actually happened. She said it was the other girl that made her cry. The disagreement was about dresses, yes, but the other girl's behavior towards Meghan was so upsetting that Meghan was the one left in tears. And this was days before her wedding. While pregnant? I don't know about that. As we later learned. Meanwhile, the other girl, she knew that her behavior was bad. How do we know this? Because she apologized. She sent flowers and she sent a note. And I hope to God that Meghan kept that note. I hope, and thankfully there was a witness there when all this happened. You do not send flowers and a note when someone else wrongs you. You send flowers and a note when you know you've done something wrong. And the other girl knew. She apologized privately. And then she let either herself or her allies, she then leaked a completely different story, an opposite story to the press. A version where Meghan was the villain and she, the saintly future queen, was the victim. That is not a misunderstanding. That is a strategic lie that you deploy to damage someone's reputation. And this is the origin of some of her mean girl behavior. This is why when people look at her, despite her smiling and waving and exaggerated laughs, we know all that is a superficiality. We know she is a mean girl because the empathy, the warmth does not carry through. Yes, I said it. And now that book is trying to tell us that she felt deeply let down when Meghan disclosed this private exchange of apology and flowers and note. Let's sit with that framing in a moment. So you participated in and you benefit at minimum from a lie you failed to correct. A lie that was used to smear Meghan for years. Meghan told the truth and you have the audacity to feel let down? Not even by your own behavior, not by the palace machinery that promoted the lie, not by the media that amplified it, but you felt let down that Meghan defended herself, that she refused to accept the false blame. So let me make this clear. You leaked against Meghan, you told a lie against her in public, and you expected Meghan not to respond and defend herself in public? Unbelievable. Because the book continues that the other girl was very clear that any engagement with Harry or Meghan should be with the utmost caution because it was obvious that they weren't to be trusted. The liar is telling us that the truth teller cannot be trusted. Make it make sense. So you that circulated a false story about Meghan publicly for years, you who never publicly corrected the record, you who benefited from Meghan being cast as the villain, you are now telling us that Meghan should not correct those lies publicly, that it should have been private, that Meghan is not to be trusted. I know who I trust. And girl, it's not you. So I love that Meghan refused to do that, that Meghan said, no, I am going to tell my side of the story. Because like many people say, there are two sides to a story. And for me, there's claim and there's counterclaim. And I think that both versions have validity. The dresses did not fit. That is true. The other girl was upset. That is true. Meghan was upset. That is true. But do not lie. Do not lie that somebody made you cry when you made that person cry, when you were the one trying to colonize, control somebody else's wedding. And your passive-aggressive nature even spread to what you wore to the wedding. You deliberately wore a dress that you called lemon, yellow, whatever color you called it, but you knew from having worn that dress before that that dress photographs white. And you deliberately wore that dress to the wedding. That told me everything I needed to know about you. So the book also claims that you and your husband were wounded by the accusations in the Oprah interview, and that Harry and Meghan's truth created a siege mentality. Boo-ing who? That is called consequences of behavior. And this is why you are the way you are, because nobody holds you accountable. You barely do any work. You didn't work before your marriage. Certainly didn't work before your marriage, during your marriage, before your illness, and after your illness. So, and this is because you've never been held accountable for anything. And yeah, at the end of the day, what you did was horrible. And you need to take responsibility and you need to apologize to Meghan, because the pattern is you briefed against her, she defended herself, and now you are claiming betrayal. The press attacks Meghan, Meghan speaks out, and now the press claims she is playing victim. And that is on you. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments, please. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur. And for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me. And to support my work, please grab a copy of my book, The Luxpreneur, from Amazon, Waterstones, or from, I always forget, Barnes & Noble. Or, if you prefer, you can buy me the biggest cup of coffee ever at buymeacoffee.com/Elizabeth Solaru.